I'm Catherine Davis. I'm a pediatric speech-language pathologist, and what I wanted to show you today is how to use books that you already have at home to target your child's speech and language skills. So I have a variety of books here. So I've got this simple Spot and Clifford books, these little board books. Those are great for super simple language skills. I love lift and flap books. I could go on all day about lift and flap books. Those are really engaging. And then I have these sticker books. I love these too, actually. Anything that's interactive that gets the kids, touching and imitating those motor movements, I am all for. And then I've got some more, not complex, but with a little more words on the pages. So whatever level of books you have at home, you can use those to target your child's speech and language skills. But I'm gonna actually start with a very basic little board book. So this is just a shapes book. And so we can read the words on the page. You're gonna be doing that already. But instead of just turning the page and moving on, let's go back to this and talk about what is happening on the page. There's not too much going on, so this is fine for your early learners. So Spot is chewing on the ring. Then you can ask them, what is Spot doing? Spot is, and then they can fill in the blank there. So you've modeled for them what that sounds like, and then sometimes they might need it a couple of times. That's okay, I promise they're listening. And then they can fill in the blank. And then right here we've got some shapes, so we can take our finger together and let's trace it. Okay, your turn, you trace. So they can imitate that motor movement, tracing the shapes as we go through the book. Here he is coloring on a square drawing pad. What did he draw? So we've got some WH questions there. What did he draw? He drew, past tense verb, a bird. There's a bird. And then if you want to expand even further, you can talk about what a bird does. And then of course you're tracing your shapes as you go through, so just make it interactive and fun beyond just simply reading the words on the page. That's super great, and I love reading books and just words on the page, but talking about what's happening in the pictures is really awesome to expand your child's speech and language skills. Lift and flap books. Okay, I'm going there because I really love these. I have a lot of them. There's always seasonal books. I have some Halloween books. This one is about the zoo, but I love lift and flap books, especially ones that have a lot of flaps. I will say these can tend to be visually overwhelming if you're just getting started out, so keep that in mind. But we can read the words on the page, that's great, and then we can take turns lifting the flap. That's a good turn-taking activity, and at the same time we have joint attention. We're both paying attention to what is happening in this book. So we've got some of those early developing social skills that we're targeting as well. But of course we can open the flaps. Oh, what was it? It's a bird. What's the bird doing? The bird is flying. And before we can talk about, where is the animal? Where is it? It's behind the nest. Or you can say in. It's up for interpretation, but you're talking about it, what's going on the page. All of the pictures and behind all of the flaps, you can just talk about what's going on. Of course, you're talking about what the animals are doing, where are they, some weird questions. You can also do who is playing with the dolphin, so you've got who questions there. So, like I said, these are really good for those early turn-taking skills, up to expanding and building language. If your kiddo is working on articulation, so speech sounds, you can use those books. You can also use these stories as well. But what a lot of times I'll do is, if I just want to find a book that's engaging and interesting to them, I might not necessarily, you don't have to because you're at home and you're using what you have, pick books that have their sound in it a lot of times. So first of all, talk to your speech pathologist about what sounds they're working on, and then from there, so say I have this book about Gerald the giraffe, and we're working on our k sounds. So that's like K and C, our k sounds. So Gerald the giraffe, obviously that doesn't have any K or C sounds, but I'm talking about he has a long neck. What's so long on him? What is this? This is his neck. So we're modeling that sound and finding things as we go that have our sounds in it. And even if they're working on multisyllabic words, you can find some as you go through the book. So let me see if this one has any. Oh, I got one right here. So this is a butterfly. What's on the leaf? A butterfly. There we go. We can find some multisyllabic words. If your kiddo's at the level where they can actually find the words in the book, then that's great. If not, then you can just find those things as you come upon them, and identify them and ask those open-ended type questions or open-ended sentences to have them fill in the blank and give them opportunities to say their sounds. If they're not quite at a point where they can say the k sound, they can't quite get their tongue back, whatever the sound may be, that's just an example. But you're still giving them that auditory bombardment. You're saying it lots of times. So right here, these are chimpanzees, but for the sake of working on our sound, we can call them monkeys. These are monkeys. Look at the monkeys. So I'm really overemphasizing that sound, finding anything I can find that has my sound in it in the book. So anyway, that's something you can do. Even like I said, if they're not able to produce the sound, you're modeling it for them as you go through the book. And asking those open-ended type questions, using those fill-in-the-blank type sentences. Look, what's this really long part? This is his neck, leaving that open-ended for them. So that's just a few ways you can use books. Of course, there's these sticker books to target your child's speech and language skills at home. Not only from their just language skills, getting those basic, attention, interacting together kind of skills, turn taking, up to expanding our language skills. Even our kiddos that are working on fluency or stuttering, we can talk about what's in the pictures using our clear or our smooth speech. So anyway, use what you have at home. Use your books that they're already interested in. Make it really interactive. If you're excited about it, they're gonna be more excited about it. So that's just a quick tip. You can also use books that are on the iPad, but be careful that they don't get onto the other apps. That's just something, just a little side note there. But anyway, that's how you can use books at home to expand your child's speech and language skills. If you have any questions, feel free to ask below. We're happy to help.